Now, how many of us will be very free to be monitored as they speak?
Is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshira iyo abantu basenderamu ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba n'efyo afwiri okukita n'efyo afwiri okwikaliramu Ubuntu.
Chitemiko, Ubuntu mutende.
Ubuntu nkukhala pamosi. Ubuntu nikusamala. Ubuntu nikukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
Ubuntu is I'm a person because of a person. Actually a person. I'm who I am because of who we are.
What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of
tolerant. But imagine if we had a regime that we had previously, how many of us will survive? Because we don't know even we don't know the intention why this act was rushed. This act was enacted in 8 days. Now imagine if they came back, those who rushed this act. What was their aim? Everyone would have been silenced. And immediately this act was done, a lot of people stopped, opted out of the WhatsApp groups. They came out. Some up to now, they have not spoken from May 2021 to date. They are on this WhatsApp group, but they have not said anything for fear of this law. Okay? So we have that arrangement. 2, the same act talks about when you know the charges that are there are also too punitive. For example, the minimum, like I said, is 2 years. The maximum is life imprisonment. So it has all capital, even capital offenses. The hate speech that you have seen Savoy being charged with, and Sean Temple being charged with, those carry 2 years imprisonment if convicted. If convicted. Okay? So, and hate speech is defined. That even putting Pio Kachan, Katoy, like the way towards elections they would put given Ruvinda Uku is given Ruvinda, the other side Uku, Niraven, Chikwangala. It will be an offense under this act. It will be an offense. So when you are arrested, you go in for 4 years if you are convicted. Yes, they are good law. There are good parts like what I said there. Those 15 boys who were soliciting. You know, I think how many of you received those messages? Where they? Yeah?
Well, not maybe from the boys, but I get messages.
Yes, numbers. They don't put the numbers. They don't change. There is no name on the number. They will just say we have Mampala Yabwanga in November, Yabwanga, Lucky, and so on and so forth. Diamond, yes, gold, you know, you buy, we come, please send the 150 so that we travel. No, one time I almost fell in their trap. So they started asking me and they were, please, we have this. I said, who are these people? Okay. Another guy was called by these same groups, and they called him to say, we have, one of your relatives sold you to us. And we gave him Mankwara to kill you. So now, if you don't want to die, send the 2,050 kwacha, 2,500 kwacha immediately, because we agreed that he should die in the next 1 hour. So the guy panicked. What is a message and solicited there? So I started calling relatives. There's someone who called me, that is a relative who came here and sold me, and so I'm about to die. Some people started now coloring within them. Who could be? Said, no, we are just wasting. These are just schemers. They just want. Then he said, no, please. Have you found the money? This guy said, no, I've not found. No, please, you are going to die. Soon. Good. Until he just blocked that number. And the guy is still alive. So they will put you under pressure. It's a mind game. They will put you under pressure so that you give in. So that one is okay. If the cyber is to fight those chaps, that is fine. But not when it comes to surveillance of every chat that you have. I think that is what is the problem with this act. And also where they reasonably suspect. Now, when people come to invade a place like this one, the police come to invade a place like this one, it's that they have been here before, isn't it? That's what happens. Even in the Bible, you remember when they went to fight the war of Jericho, Reverend? There were spies that were sent. So you spy first to see how, if you want to be there. So even when they come in the cyber, when they call you that you have committed an offense under the cyber, they will first survey your phone. What do you use your phone for? So when they say, oh, you are talking, you are planning here, you are planning there, you are planning there, then tomorrow they say, Mana, you are wanted at police headquarters. You know this person? No, I don't know. You know this person? Meanwhile, they have already recorded. everything is with them. So as you are refusing, others are laughing. You say, there's a problem. He's refusing what? So when they will start now showing you this, are you not the one? Are you not the one? You know? I remember one friend of mine who was in the military. So one time there was this within the army, people were just insulting the army commander. Man, this one you fell there, blah blah blah. So they couldn't know who is that one. So they called an expert. Said, I want to know who this person is. Said, no, we can capture it. So they captured this person. They captured what he was doing and where he was doing all this cyber thing. So the army commander called this guy. Man, have you seen this? These things that are yeah, these are bad, man. If this person can be found, he must be fired. He said, okay. So can you open that computer? My buttons. The message came. Who is behind this computer? It was himself. So what would you say now? No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. So that is why when you are called, especially on issues of cyber, you go there very cautious. Because you never know. When they are calling you, they would have already done their work. So they know what you have done and what you have not done. So it's better you are shown so that you justify why you did what you did. So that is those are some of the bad elements in the. So there are punitive measures, punitive punishments. Then there are all these guarding arrangements, surveillance, monitoring, and so on, and also giving power to the monitors, cyber monitors or inspectors to do all what they want to do. Second is that for the media, for example, if you are stopped from telling, you are criminalized for keeping quiet. For example, Messi does a story on me. We sat somewhere where we are drinking, the two of us, and then I gave her a story, an exclusive story. And please don't mention my name. Just say source. When those people come to her, she has no option but to say who gave the story. So how many sources will put their lives into that? Because if she keeps quiet, she will be committing an offense. So she has to say, no, it's McDonald's. Where did you meet? No, we met there. And so when they are calling me, Messi would have given them everything. Okay? So Messi would have given them everything. So that is the challenge that we are having. Okay. So with this is why we say, let us review this law. So once this law is reviewed, at least let's focus on the fight against the criminals. Okay? Those who are using phones for criminal activities, yes, they must. Are we together? Yes. So that is why now we want you people read the law and suggest, because the Ministry of Science and Technology will be coming here to consult you. Now, how do you participate if you don't know anything? If you have not read? You remember the story of the eunuchs, the Ethiopian eunuch, who was busy reading and not understanding. So you may read, but if you don't understand, ask those who may understand. And don't go and ask Hilda, who doesn't understand also. You will just mislead each other. Yeah, so that is what we need to do. So the law, the government will be coming, whichever means they will be using to consult you on the review of the cyber. And please be part of that document. You can Google it. It's there. Cyber Security and Cyber Crime Act number 2 of 2021. Read it through thoroughly and even underline where their things are. The moment these things are, they may say you can even submit online. Do your part so that the government can be guided. Okay, so any questions? Mr. Msonda will respond. Let me just answer someone here.
Any questions on issues that ED has spoken about? Yes, madam.
He spoke about that the cyber inspectors even have authority to interfere in the cyber space. Go. What is involved in it?
Okay, good question. So let me address it. So staff, if you like, to have access to whatever communication that you be engaging yourselves in, especially something to do with online. For example, the law provides for monitoring the conversations on your online, for example, communications. It may be some of the cases where, for example, you as an individual, you are communicating with someone, and if they suspect that there is a wrong that you are doing, the provision of the law is open to monitor such conversations. So, to some extent, in line with your questions, yes, it interferes, and they can also intercept the conversation. So we are all exposed, if you like. We are all exposed. Now, to what extent should that interference in our communications, private communications, should we advocate for? So remember that in the law, there are goods and bads. Good on the aspect of that the law can be used to prevent crimes to happen. Previously, when we had this engagement and your traditional leadership, I gave an example that physically, the law is very clear where police can interfere and prevent the physical crime to happen. Are we together? Physically, the police can prevent a crime to happen. So it was observed that there is a shortfall of laws that provides, for such interventions when such crimes are committed online. Now, the problem is that these laws, they are abused. That's a major problem. They are abused. Instead of following the crime that is committed online, the abuse is in following even in your private conversations, such that you may not even feel secure. And in fact, last time, we compared some of the provisions that are in the Cyber Security and Crime Act against what the Constitution provides for under Article 17. You remember Article 17 gives us the right to freedoms to privacy. Yes. Privacy. Very important. But this law exposes us through the empowerment of those cyber inspectors who should be able to monitor the conversations online. So the way it should be, to what extent should they interfere? The intention is interfere when the crime is about to be committed. Interfere for purposes of preventing the crime. So how to weigh that and leaving it to the judgment of cyber inspectors is problematic. So that's an issue that we should deal with. Because any law that contravenes the supreme law of the land is rendered null and void. So the law as it sits now does not agree with the Constitution. So, madam, yes, you want any crime that would be committed against you to be prevented. Not so. It's in all, individuals' interests, but we remain safe. If someone is planning to kill you, and then that communication online is intercepted using this law, obviously you can't condemn that. So the problem is the mixture of provisions, the goods and bads. That's why we are saying, let's not do away with the old level, but we remove the bad things and replacing it with the good provisions. That's the repealing and replacement. So that's our core, that's our advocacy since we started this conversation, that we repeal and replace, because we've come to appreciate that, yes, there are those positive provisions of the law that are meant, to, protect us, but also enhance, the freedoms of speech and freedoms of association. So that's the focus, ladies and gentlemen. Remove all the bad provisions and replace them with the good provisions, so that the law can be consistent with what the Constitution provides for. So I think we can continue the conversation. We just
Yeah. So I hope we looked at those issues. So that's the cyber security, and this is why ourselves we are not saying repeal it, no, because we are cognizant of the cyber crimes that are there, and the number of people committing cyber crimes, just like hate speech. Some people feel that politics is about throwing hate against one another. No. We can play politics without insulting anyone. You can. You can play politics. Even in the church, there are politics. Have you ever heard that they are insulting each other? They were using the Bible. Article say, verse book so. They will knock each other just using those. No, my brother, when you read Corinthians, it doesn't allow this. But they are politics. They're just playing politics. So that this person doesn't stand there. That is what you want. Not to start going, no, you are what? You are what? even you go to the wifey, you go to the husband, you go for what? That's not politics. So let's be politicians that are issue-based. Okay? So to me, I think that is what we need with the cybersecurity. If we have noted, that is one of the issues that we just need an amendment so that it's more focused on fighting criminals and not fighting citizens who just want to enjoy these platforms. To me, that is what is important. Okay, how many of us are running NGOs here? 1, 2. So only 2 are running NGOs. Okay. How many have read the NGO Act? Mr. Madam? No, so. Have you read it?
Yes.
Eh? Oh, I thought it's you that will say, eh? Okay.
Again, I think, I think that there is also another hand from the Reverend there.
Yeah.
I think he has read. And I feel that everyone here should be able to say they've read that. Because we share from the start. Yes. We shared this document. But sharing is one thing. Reading is another. So the question is, have you read?
Yeah. So it's important to read these things because the challenge with some of these laws, whether you run away from them because maybe you're in the civil service now, you are in government, tomorrow you find it waiting for you. Because after government, you want to run an NGO. So then you start asking, Mr. President, how do I register an NGO? But you have the law there to help you know how you register an NGO. Okay, so let's read this now. There's one provision that I mentioned in my statement, which again is also a bad provision. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'll take a little bit back. I'm looking at what happened during the time of the elections. Would say because cyber law allows government to interfere with satellite feeds and stuff like that. So because it may repeat itself.
Yes.
So what in this context of wanting to have it amended, are we looking at such kind of issues where the government may interfere with social media and simply shut it down, because they can shut down the TV if they want to through satellite? So are we looking at amending also those?
Yes, we actually what we are saying here is that all those inimical laws sector. If, for example, government even in the night. So those are the issues that we are looking at. How best can we handle that so that we don't give a blank power to the state, and tomorrow we start running away from the same law that we have. Because today we have a government, tomorrow we may have another people who may have different way of doing things. So these laws we are making, we say whether there will be a bad person as minister, as president, or there will be a good president, a good minister, the law must be good to handle both. A good minister, a good president who a bad president, you should be able to say, look, the law says this. We have broken the law. To me, that is what we need to, and not to give a blank check. So as we sit, as we discuss, as they come, please, those are the best questions you ask these people when they come to start consulting on you. But immediately the provincial issues start, we'll be able to indicate to you to say, please be part of the team. they'll be there to do ABCD, and you can engage. And how I wish even the headmen could be part of those things, because your people are the ones who serve, especially in the rural areas. Because these laws that we have are never even translated in local language. So they are not even simplified in the cartoon side where people, oh, I've seen this. So when you cyber is like this cyber, they don't know. You go there and say cyber, they say, which is cyber? Some now get as a good name. If you go now, because now Amaros have no names. Cyber has become a name. I make one in Senate. Cyber now. So there will be just names. They don't know what it means. So that is what we need to deal with. Yeah. The NGO, actually soon we'll have a validation workshop on the NGO Act or bill. We've done the draft, I think as late as last week, this week actually, Sunday, we are reading Sunday. We are doing the final touches as the Council of NGOs and other relevant ministries. So sooner or later, we'll call for a validation workshop on the draft. So I hope that you get connected to that debate so that you see what is being proposed. What we have proposed in that act, in the bill that is to come, is that the Ministry of Community Development will be registering NGOs. PACRA will be registering NGOs if they want to go to PACRA, and the Societies Act. And even those who are registered under disabilities, ZAPIT, Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, under National Youth, whatever, all those NGOs, you will be registered to wherever you want to register. But for you to operate as an NGO, you need to have a license. And the license will be issued by the Ministry of Community Development. Why the license is that we want to have a proper coordination of NGOs. Because these days, anyone says I'm an NGO. Anyone says I'm an NGO. He has no license, others are involved in other things. So we will have to be licensed to operate as an NGO. So that's the new law that we are coming. Okay. Now, the current law that we have today, like I said, the board, 8 appointed from the government side, and only 7. Now, since we boycotted the issue of being on the board as NGOs from 2012 when we constituted the Council of NGOs, we have had no representation on the board. And the danger of this board also is that when the Congress appoints 7 to sit on the board, they don't have any link to any NGO except themselves. So they will sit there for themselves. They will not report to the council. They will not report to any NGO. So we say that is also an anomaly. Because if they are going there on behalf of the council, or on behalf of the NGOs, then they should be reporting to the council of what is happening in the board. But of course, this law is going, and we have provided no board member, no board. There's no department with a board, unless it was an agency. Then we also have the power, the board has got the power to approve and disapprove thematic areas. So if Madam Muriokera here wants to do agriculture, the board has power to say, no, don't do agriculture. Better you do with orphans. You say, no, I want to do education. No, you can't do education. It's better you do chap banning. Have you seen? So why should you give power to a board which has no idea why I formed the NGO? You know, so that is another challenge that we have in the NGO. Then we have also the minister having power. When you submit those 7 names from the NGOs, the minister has power to reject the nomination. So if they want to play politics, we say, okay, Mr. Mulele, Reverend Mulele, sorry, you are going to represent us, the minister can say, no, we don't want Mr. Mlele. We would rather want Madam Akakakaka. Where is she going? You know, we don't want this, we want this. So you have all those challenges. Because when we as a group, you know, second Reverend Mlele, it's because we know what he can do in that meeting. He will represent us effectively. But someone said, no, we don't want. They are afraid. They want a weak person to go there. So why should it be if it's an NGO? It's NGOs who should say, we want this and we don't want that. Then we also have the absence of time limit for the acceptance or rejection of registration applications. So that one has no, whether it will be 10 months, 20 months, they will not, whatever. And then you have bash penalties. Like I said, you make a mistake, you are in, the NGO also will be closed. So those are some of the challenges with the NGO Act. But like we said, this one will be repealed and replaced. Because we also need the NGO law to govern NGOs. So if you have any idea to form an NGO, please get involved. Even if you don't have an idea, get involved. Because tomorrow we may not be here to sensitize you. But immediately this law will be done, we'll go into overdrive to sensitize people that this is the new law. Like I'm now telling you that there will be licensing. So before you get into conflict with the law, make sure that your NGO will be licensed for you to operate. Your registration will not be guaranteed for you to operate as an NGO. No, you need a license. Just like banks, they register with PACRA as businesses. For them to operate as banks, they need to go to get a what? A license. Even these financial lending institutions, they get a trading license for them to behave what the way they behave. So even the NGOs, because we have NGOs now registered by the council, they are all over. They don't even know what is happening. So that will have to go and will sensitize you on the best we learn. Okay. Any questions on this? Nothing. Yes, madam.
I think during MMD, you remember, sir, we used to have several groups for NGOs where we're meeting monthly according to which
thematic area.
Yes. Some were working with orphans, they would be on their own, those in agriculture, those in HIV/AIDS. But I last saw that maybe 7 years ago. I think those have, in the changing of government, it has phased out. We used to meet at the DC's office there monthly, and we were submitting reports. But now we have a problem where one orphan can be sponsored by 10 NGOs. The parents don't tell the truth. These buy a uniform, they go, SOS comes, this. So you find there's no order in the NGO sector because we are not regulated by anyone, and no one is responsible to maybe bring people together and say, let's move this direction. It is each man for himself. At the end of the day, we are not managing to mitigate our purposes. You find that up to now we have a lot of children who are not going to school. But if you sit down and ask how many NGOs are working in the education sector, you find there are many, but they're just supporting 1 or 2 children, all of them. So I think there should be
some balance.
Yeah, there should be some
balance. Regulations.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is why we are saying that with the license itself will help us, because we know how many NGOs are operating in Livingstone and in which areas are they operating in. Otherwise, now we don't know. Even yourselves here in Livingstone don't know how many NGOs are operating. Even the council, they don't know. But this will help us to know, because every license, because the moment you see Mrs. Muriokera running around with a bag of cassava, trying to feed the people. Say, but what NGO is she working? Is she licensed? Then those will create problems for this person if he is not licensed. So coordination is exactly what this act lacks. It lacks the coordination. Yeah. Yes, sir.
On the issue of licensing, don't you foresee a situation whereby you who are in the critical space where you provide checks and balances which may not be appreciated at some point by the powers that be? Don't you think that this very same law will come to hunt you back again, like being abused? Like, okay, Mr. Chipenzi, you are talkative a lot, okay? You are changing the course of people's mindset in terms of them supporting the government of the day. So we are revoking your license. What are issues that you are focusing in order to create a caveat which will not allow government interference in terms of revoking license for those who will be critical? Yeah.
Well, first is that your license will be like perpetual, but the only thing your license can be revoked is by failing to renew it, and not because you have done something wrong. If there's something wrong that you have done, it will go through the courts. You have through the courts, even the state, you have to take you to court for failing to do what is supposed to be done. So we have safeguarded that by ensuring that how does the license get revoked? Okay. So there will be a process to be done. So it will not just be one thing, but the way Comrade Andereke had done with the MM. Yes, that the registered. Yeah. So there will be a process to be followed to be registered. As long as you are registered, you automatically get a license. And then you have to renew your license. Every year you have to pay whatever amount will be paid to renew your license. That's all. And not these other things. Okay, there was a hand there. I hope I've answered your one.
Yeah, there is another.
Yes.
Just a follow-up. Like the other concern will maybe on the screening. Will there be a screening process whereby others will be again? Maybe there will be a show whereby on technicalities they will knock you out based on the thematic area you are trying to be looking at. So don't you think, or is there also some issues that you've already ironed out that even when you are applying, there won't be those political emotions attached?
No, what the license itself will not bring those issues of investigations. Why are you applying for the license? No, as long as you bring your registration certificate, it means that these other processes of who you are already dealt with. So you there, you just to operate. Registration is where you will either be rejected or not rejected. Once you get your certificate of registration, when you go to the department, it's just to give you a license to operate. And the condition under which that license has been issued. So there will be no other interrogations when you go there. It's just to ask you the papers, or you have registration. What have you paid the fees? Yes. What? Yes. Your constitution, your what? Especially those that are registered from other agencies. It's just to bring all the registration certificates. But those that are registered under the same ministry, like the NGO, Department of NGO, there will be no need for any other than just maybe you'll be issued the registration certificate at the same time as the license. The licensing. You will be given the license at the same time. So that will also help people who have been saying, no, we don't want to be registered under this act, to go direct to register the NGO. Then register PACRA, then you go and process your license at the registration, at the Department of Registration. So that's how we have done. So there will be no investigation whatsoever at the licensing level. They will just demand for documentation of registration. Maybe before there was a handy. Is it Mr. Mulego?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe there are two and a half or one and a half questions. The first thing, well, what you're doing is very good, but I would like to appeal to you that as much as you are pushing for a board, which must have more than a lot of people coming from NGO, I'll be grateful if you be considerate also to pick maybe one or two persons living with disability to be part and parcel of the board as you'll be planning for it. I know you have planned already. It will be very much helpful. Because I've noticed even recently, you'll find that the current ZAPID board, it has got 3 disability representatives and 7 people coming from the various ministries, which is very unfortunate. And last time when you came, you talked about the Public Order Act, and I know today you haven't talked about it. How far has the government gone up with that one? Because you said, I think by 29th of September, they'll start doing it, and I've been following Parliament. So far, I haven't heard the planning of Public Order Act. Have they stopped about it or what?
Thank you. On the board, like I said, the board has been scrapped from the NGO Act, or the proposed NGO, unless they bring it. But we have said we don't need a board. The council is enough. So maybe what we need now is how do we incorporate the council? How do we incorporate the persons with disabilities in the council? The first council we had done that. I don't know which one was this. Was it Stafford who was sitting as a person with disability in that council? There was a disability movement. No, there was something. So we are doing that. We hope that we can we consider the board to have persons with disabilities. However, the challenge with the current council is that representation is from the provinces. For example, in Southern Province, when you meet to go to the Congress, you choose people that will go to the Congress. And when you choose people to go to the Congress, you are the ones who choose who should be representing you in the council. So if there's you people here, you agree that will not put someone with disability will not plant anyone with disability at the Congress, then it becomes difficult for the Congress to elect somebody who is disabled or a person with disability. So perhaps what we need now to think of is how do we accommodate, leave a few slots for persons with disabilities who may not be seconded by their provinces. I think that's an issue. I think it's an eye-opener now to look at how do we ensure persons with disabilities in the Council of NGOs to take up their interest. So that's very good. On the Public Order Act, sir, we had our last final technical working. I'm a co-chair of the technical working group on the Public Order Act. So we had our last meeting last week on Friday, where we looked at the comments from the stakeholder. There was a validation, national stakeholder validation, and we looked at it and we passed it. So we are just waiting for government now with their internal processes and also the Zambia Road Development Commission to hand over the document now to the ministry for cabinet to approve for it to go to Parliament. I'm very sure that by first session of February of next year, 2023, the Public Order Act will be repealed. And we are changing the name now from Public Order Act to Public Gathering Act. Public Gathering Act. So you are no longer going to be ordered, but you'll be gathering as a public. and we are saying there are two issues that the Act will do to facilitate your enjoyment of your right of assembly and also to regulate those assemblies. How do you regulate them? What we are saying there is that if you are 20 meeting, you don't need to notify the police. You just meet, discuss, whatever, whether outside or indoors, you are free. But if you are more than 20, you need to inform, and that's just to inform the police, notify the police. And the police have got 5 days to answer you. But there is also a provision that the police can answer you in 2 days. Yeah. So that's what is there with the Public Order Act. We are actually done all the consultations now. We are at the point where the ministry should, the Zambia Law Development Commission should hand over the document to the minister for onwards. And I believe that I think we were told maybe this week, not this week, next week, we may be part of the handover of the document, the draft bill, and the report to the minister. Mr. Mlenga, I hope I've answered.
Yeah.
Thank you. There was a hand here and then the Reverend here.
Yes, me, I'm on. There is a vacuum between the NGOs and government, especially in the community. As it now, there's a critical program like the social cash transfer. Social welfare comes in the community to identify the beneficiaries, minus working with organizations in the community who are working with those beneficiaries. You find that a lot of beneficiaries are not on the social cash transfer up to today. Why? Because they are not considered by their stewards that they are supposed to be part of that. They have their own regulations. Maybe that beneficiary has a bed which a grandson bought before he died. So that bed or a television set would actually prevent that beneficiary to be part of the
of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.